Hey Trailblazer fans, welcome back to another edition of Inside the Ville, where we showcase the students and coaches who represent your favorite North Greenville teams. I'm your host, Gary Wenzel, and today we're joined by Emily Blackwell, a member of the softball team. Emily, thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah, of course.
So Emily, we'll start with this. You guys are having a great season so far, 4-0 in the division, and you guys have been on a win streak, and you've been hot. What has the season been like so far, and how have you guys gotten to this point?
Honestly, I think at the beginning of the season, we struggled a little bit trying to find like our grounding and trying to figure out how we all work together. And we started out a bit rocky, but I think now that conferences started, we kind of have a fire like lit under us, and I think we finally figured out some of our quirks and figured out what best works for our team. And I think we're also having fun doing it, which is the reason why we're on this, soon to be 5-game win streak. So.
Yeah, you talked about having fun and building that chemistry, new faces on the team. You've been a leader on this team for 3 years now, and how have you spoken life into the younger players, the freshmen coming in?
I think with the freshmen coming in, I just try to make sure that they know that they're at the same level as me. Like we both play, on this team, we both play college softball, and I think it's very important to treat them as the same. And I think it's very important that we shine a light on them and try to help them through this process, because the first year of college is really hard, not even with athletics, but also with academics as well. And I remember when I was a freshman, it was really hard for me to adjust. So I think it's great to be able to shine a light on them and be able to give them advice in this hard first year of college.
So you talked about a hard first year of college, and just speaking from experience, how did you get past that point to where now you feel comfortable? You're a leader of this team, hitting over 400 on the season so far, and balancing the academics and the athletics as well.
Yeah, honestly, I'd say that it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of prayer, honestly. My freshman year, I really had to rely on God because I was really struggling. I had a really hard time balancing sports and school at the same time because we missed so much class for games and things like that. So I had to learn to rely on the fact that I can't control what's going to happen, and I have to place my control in God, and I think that really helped me, and I try to continue to do that in, the next year and this year as well. So
Softball is a long season. There's no doubt about that. And you talked about missing class for games.
mm-hmm.
You guys are always together as a team. Talk to me about this group of girls and what makes them so special and how you guys can blend together and then translate that onto the field.
I honestly think a big part of it is that we all just love to have fun. I think we have fun together. And I think that the freshmen and like me and some of the upperclassmen, and we kind of mesh really well. And especially like me and my teammate, Maddie Stone, we have a Bible study. So there are people that come in there who are, underclassmen. And I think it's really special for them to be able to proclaim their faith and talk about their walk with God. And for, like upperclassmen to also do that with them and to encourage them to speak openly about it. And I think that really helps us as a team.
What do you think your favorite part about being on this Trailblazer team has been for the past 3 years, and what makes North Greenville softball so special?
I would say that when you come to North Greenville, you strive to play for something more than just yourself. You strive to play for God, and above all else, we have fun doing it. And I think that's a big part of North Greenville University, is that we play for not just ourselves, but we play for, God, our teammates, our coaches, and, the people that help us to get here, like our parents and our families, and, just everything like that.
A bit of a fun question here. I know for baseball and softball, very similar. A lot of players will have a superstition, maybe before an at-bat or taking the field for the first time in a game. Do you have any superstition that you do before a game or before an at-bat?
Honestly, I don't know if it's really a superstition, but I use the same glove that I used since I was 8. So it's about over a decade years old. So, and it works. So I keep using it.
There you go. So it still fits and everything?
Yeah, it does.
That's awesome. And you talked to me a little bit about this before, but you said that you weren't always a left-handed hitter, but you were also a right. Oh, so you started as a right-handed hitter in Little League. Talk to me about that transition before you started becoming a left-handed hitter.
So when I was 8 years old, I got flipped from being a right-handed hitter to a left-handed slapper. And the transition is really hard, but I think it's really effective when you do it at a young age, because I struggled with it a lot when I first got flipped, but the older I've gotten, the more it's become muscle memory, and now I don't even have to think about it anymore.
And you play shortstop. You've been phenomenal. Going back to the glove that you've had for 10 years, that might be a reason why. But have you always played middle infield, and like infield's been the position that you are most comfortable with?
I played third base when I was in Little League, like 8 or 9 years old, and then the older I got, I didn't mature and get taller like the other people, so they kind of placed me in the middle infield, and I've kind of stayed there ever since. I was second base all throughout high school, and when I got here, I got put at shortstop. So
One more question before we go, Emily. What advice would you give to the younger generation, maybe players in middle school or high school that are looking to play in college, and what makes North Greenville softball so special and maybe a place they would like to come to?
honestly, I think that the best thing about North Greenville is that when you come here, you learn that softball doesn't define you, it doesn't satisfy you, and they teach you at North Greenville that the only thing that will satisfy you is God, and that's what gives you pure joy and pure peace, which is, I think it has a lot to do with why we have so much fun here at North Greenville, is because we know that we're playing for something other than ourselves.
Well, Emily, thank you so much for coming on today. It was a joy talking to you, and you guys are having a great season so far. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
That'll do it for us here from Tigerville. We'll see you next time on Inside the Ville.